The mainstream liberal media has ignored our next guest, who has detailed extensively the Clinton cartel corruption. Joining me now, Peter Schweizer. He is the president of the Government Accountability Institute, also executive producer of the Clinton Cash film that is based on his best-selling book. Peter, good to have you with us. Never, I would suspect, in your wildest dreams, would you have expected 3 document dumps from Wikileaks on John Podesta, the emails of the Clinton campaign in a 5-day period. Am I wrong?
No, you're exactly right, Lou, and yes, it's great to be on with you. No, I mean, it's very surreal because, of course, when Clinton Cash came out last year as a book, there was this whole media campaign that the Clintons embraced, and we kind of had the sense of what was going on. But now with the Podesta emails, we know what that strategy was, and you talked about sort of the collaborative efforts with the media. The emails reveal it was very clear. They say we got to find a friendly, sympathetic host, that would be George Stephanopoulos, and these are the 2 questions we want him to ask. And indeed, those are the 2 questions that George Stephanopoulos asked. After the fact, there's an email where they're doing high fives, where they basically say, we got him to do our bidding. And that's, I think, what's so troubling about these media emails is, you know, some of the names you kind of expect, okay? You know which reporters out there seem to be kind of on the tape.
Times,
but there's some names on here that's
ABC News, etc.
Yeah, but there's some that are pretty surprising that you didn't anticipate to have this cozy relationship. And we're not talking about just sort of, you know, being collegial. We're talking about sharing information.
Which surprised you most?
I think it's the number one, it's that we're going to do an interview, but we're going to let you decide selectively what's going to happen. And number 2, the bureau chief of the Washington Post saying we're running this story on lobbying, but don't worry, we're not going to talk about this case involving you. It's you know, there's only a single line where we're discussing you. I mean, come on, you're supposed to speak truth to power. That's bowing before the throne.
Yeah, it is. It is so many things. Peter, this is, you wrote extensively about Haiti. Then in these most recent dumps, we learned in the days following the earthquake in Haiti that killed more than 200,000, requests from individuals identified as friends of Bill were given priorities. Others shuttled off to the mainstream bureaucracy, AID and et cetera, and they were given primacy amongst those dealing with the aftermath, and of course through the Clinton Foundation and the State Department run by Mrs. Clinton.
Yeah, you're right, Lou. I mean, think about it. If you think there's anything that's not going to be political or going to be crony, you would think it would be reconstruction after an earthquake. But the emails show extensively. ABC News did a wonderful 3-part investigation on this, showing email exchanges that contractors getting access in Haiti, you know, being able to do projects. The emails were all about, is this person an FOB? Not an SOB, an FOB as in friend of Bill. And if you're a friend of Bill, you got movement, you got access, you got contracts. If you were not, you did not. The second big revelation in this investigation, by the way, is Cheryl Mills, the chief of staff, Clinton confidant, pushed for and got more than $100 million in taxpayer money to build this factory in northern Haiti for this South Korean company. ABC News reveals the chief executive of that South Korean company turns around and invests in a private company she is building called Black Ivy. If that is not corruption, I don't know what is.
Well, there is corruption, as has been documented by yourself and others now, and WikiLeaks is providing, and I'd like to hear your judgment on this. WikiLeaks seems to be the most energized and effective and responsible agency and outlet that is respecting the traditional American right to know. Frustrated by this administration, the Democratic, the Clinton cartel, whatever you want to call it, the mainstream media that will not maintain even anything resembling an adversarial relationship with power. My God, we are, to me, at this very moment, it looks to me like the public's right to know has been utterly crushed.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, here's the way I view it, Lou. I think you're exactly right. Look, are we concerned about hacking? Absolutely, we're concerned about hacking, and law enforcement needs to do their job. But
by the way, I've got to say to you, Peter, I'm no longer one of those concerned about hacking. I want the American people to know every damn thing they can about any candidate running, for president. I want to know what was going on.
I know, I agree completely, Lou, but the point I was making is that's a concern of law enforcement. The news media has never really been concerned about how they received information. They've always said the information's there, we are going to let the American people know. A lot of them now are suddenly concerned about, oh, well, we're not sure that this information was obtained in the proper way. That's never been their concern in the past, and that's not their role. That's not their role at all.
How pitiful is it for the Clinton campaign to say, oh, no, please, we think that Russia may have been involved with Wikileaks in this hack. By the way, they don't know it, but they claim that is truth, and it is absolutely not. No intelligence figure or leader that I know of has said they know for sure. There are suspicions. But Peter, to say that that the information that we're all looking at that's being provided to the American public right now in the midst of this election is somehow less important than the fact of who may have assisted in its acquisition. This is mindlessness.
Yeah, no, Lou, this has been the standard approach of the Clintons for 20 years. You can't deal with the message and the truth. You attack the messenger. And so the messenger now is WikiLeaks, so they're going to attack the messenger. They did the same thing with me. They didn't want to engage in the details, even though we now know in the WikiLeaks emails, John Podesta is getting emails from people saying these are legitimate issues, these are legitimate concerns. Their standard approach is to attack the messenger and ignore the message, and they're trying to do it yet again with WikiLeaks.
Peter, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it, as always.